want to remind you about the telephone numbers here in case, but I don't think I'll be able to take any call tonight. Maybe another night. Make sure you pay attention. Call your friend and relatives and tell them that the Congresswoman Sheila-McCormick is right here with me. Are they gonna talk? As the judge will say, speak the truth and nothing but the real truth, huh? Gotta pay attention. I want to say good night to all the mothers and all the fathers out there. Welcome you all, huh? So I'm gonna go over to Studio B and make sure I have her microphone going pretty good with me. So go nowhere. And I want to say good night to Najal, to the lady that do all the hard work while you relax, while the Congresswoman relax. So good night. Welcome to WAVS Radio. Let me tone down and go straight over to see what's happening. Let me see. Get the microphones going. Miss McCormick, are you there?
Yes.
Get the microphone up. Someone give me some volume. Like your handy campaign trail.
Could you hear me?
Look a bit louder. I want you to look a bit more louder. I want to see
now?
I want to see the volume go up to maybe a 6 or a 7. So one more time.
Hello. Could you hear me?
All right. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing good. You're looking like a young lady, like a young 27 years old. What's you been doing? Anyway, living in the incubator?
No, I've been taking care of myself. I'm out here fighting. Yes.
That's very good. You gotta
Yeah.
take care of yourself, because if you do not do that, your body is going to leave you.
Yes. And I have 2 kids I have to stay here for, and my husband.
Oh, well, that's very good.
Yes.
You have somebody to live for, so you gotta make sure that you get it going.
Yes.
Anyway, again, welcome.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to WAVS Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice when speaking to our same people who look like us, and we talk about the issues of hand. For the listeners that might have not met you or know anything about you, can you, I know they are living in your district, can you just tell them a little bit about yourself, your upbringing,
Yes.
where you're coming from to where you are today?
Okay. So my parents came to the United States probably in the 1960s as Haitian immigrants. And I lived in Florida, grew up here. I went to Howard University for my undergraduate, went to St. Thomas University for law school. My biggest, I think, accomplishment was raising my daughter by myself as a single parent, and then working hard to work up to where I am today. I've been in Congress now. Well, I was in Congress for 5 years as a representative for District 20. I was able to bring in the most money directly into the district. All that money that came into the district actually went to Black nonprofits. They went to Black entrepreneurs, U.S. Chamber, Black Chamber of Commerce. I really focused on making sure that we were taking care of the economic needs of our community and making sure we had opportunities. We brought in more than $980 million when it came to our entrepreneurs and creating opportunities. I looked at every single opportunity.
Take it easy. We have half an hour to go.
Oh,
You're
okay.
saying you brought in how much money?
So we brought in $980 million when it came in for our entrepreneurs.
In your
Yes, in my district, we were able to bring in that much.
Mm-hmm.
We created opportunities everywhere. Opportunities for Black people in the police office, the police department. We created opportunities when it came to continuing education, where we actually paid for people to have job skills training. We actually paid and created an incubator for small businesses right there in Sistrunk with Florida Memorial, where they would teach small businesses how to be resilient, how to balance your books, how to get loans, how to get small business loans. We did so much work to help the community. We even made sure that we were bringing money in to businesses so they can qualify for loans. One of the things we noticed, especially in our district, most people in our district now are entrepreneurs. And so we had a partnership. When I was in Congress, I was the ranking member, which is the top Democrat for Northern Africa and also the Middle East. And so with that, I traveled every single month, and we were in a seat overseas. So we created partnerships where I had different forums where we talked about doing business in Africa, and people will come and they talk about their business. We also brought in the administration so they can match you with a country so you can either get the workforce or you can sell your products overseas. So we looked at every single avenue to make sure that our community was being successful. When it came to housing, we put more than $580 million into housing. The housing that we did, we looked at it strategically in a sense that we needed to prevent homelessness. So if you were homeless, if you were preventing it, let's say you lost your job and you needed to pay your bills, your mortgage, or you need to pay your electricity bill, whatever bill it was, we gave over $5 million to Catholic Charities, and Catholic Charities would actually distribute that to people to prevent them from being homeless. In addition to that, we wanted to make sure that if you were homeless, that we actually gave money to the Salvation Army right here in Fort Lauderdale, in which they would help people who are homeless get into a bed until they transitioned. Now, from that transition point, we also made sure that we built different affordable housing units, single families, and also buildings. We did Aspire, which is in Fort Lauderdale. That's the one that we actually funded, and we funded several different ones. What was unique about what we were doing is that we realized that housing is not just about building houses. Housing is about as much as an economic issue and sustainability as it is building houses. And so what we did in these units that were affordable housing and single households, we actually had resource centers. So the OIC will come in and they will show you what jobs they have available. Some of the job skills training would take place downstairs so people can get trained. So what we were doing, we're developing those skills and showing them how they can actually leverage themselves to buy a home. And so once they got to the place where they can buy a home, that's where we gave cities like Tamarack. We gave them over like $2 million in Tamarack.
You gave Tamarack how much?
Over $2 million.
Over $2 million. Give me some of the cities that you can talk about that you did since you were there. You said 5 years?
Yes, every city. We
Go, let me hear.
Yeah, so let me tell you about the Tamarack one. Tamarack actually wanted to do this project in which we gave them like over $2 million. And what they did when you were buying a home in Tamarack, we actually gave you money for your down payment for your house. One of the proudest moments is when we had an older lady who was coming out of Section 8, and she bought her first condo in Tamarack right there in Kings Point, and we gave her that down payment. So we've been doing work in every single city. The way I handled it is when I came into office, I sat down with all my elected officials, and I said to them, what is your project? What is it that you would like to do for the people? Now, many people want to talk about, I need you to fix this canal, or I want you to fix this bridge. And I said, I need projects that are centered around making people's life better. So, and I explained to them the actual process, because there's a process for you to receive money from your member of Congress, that appropriations process. And many of them told me this is the first time anybody ever educated them. And I told them that there's 3 ways to get funding. You could do a line item funding, which is we get it into the appropriations bill, and that's a line item. It goes for everybody. The second way you can do it is if we come in, like, we have a project, so it would be me and another member of Congress, and we would do a bigger project, or I do 15 every year myself. And in those, I choose people-centered projects. So every single city that we've been in, we have been putting that money into, developing that city, and actually looking for people who look like us, who live like us, to actually help stimulate the actual market.
Give me some more. I want you to tell me the cities that what you have helped them to do. This go by cities, because I want to know whether or not you did work or you did not work.
Oh, I mean,
and the listening audience out there are paying attention.
It's
I want to know if you work or did not work.
So it's funny because I was listening to the people before, and I said, there's a whole bunch of people who don't know nothing about nothing. Because if you live in this district, the one thing you know is that we do the work. In addition to that, in Lauderhill, we know that there were a lot of seniors in Lauderhill, and this was around the time when they were coming out of COVID. They told me that they wanted to do more projects or do more work on their computers. They said that they wanted to do more telemedicine, but they don't have the equipment. And so we actually gave tablets to more than 2,000. Yes. You remember that, right?
Yes, I got mine.
You got your tablet.
My wife, my son, and myself got tablet. And I brought some people to get it over in Derry.
Yes.
Upstairs building there.
Yes.
So that's true.
You remember
Thousands
that, right?
of tablets.
Thousands of tablets we gave to our seniors. And then our seniors also did it for their kids, because some of their kids did not have tablets. So how are we going to help our community move forward with the basic things aren't available. The basic things as a tablet. If you look at even the people we used, the tablets were made by a black person who lives in the district.
Yes.
Okay, every project that we've ever given, if you see who was actually working, who was making the tablets, those were our students in the district who were making those tablets, getting paid to make those tablets.
In your district?
Yes, those were our students who made
All
those tablets.
tablets that you delivered over there?
Yes, they were making it right here in the district and delivering it. That's the story that people don't want to happen. And I bring that up because, you know, all those projects we were doing, the first thing they did was criticize us.
I can talk for that. I know I got a tablet, and my wife got one, and my son got one to go to school. And a lot of people get tablets.
Yes, yes. Another project that we were able to do was veterans housing. So I passed a bill, and what it did was to help veterans have housing, to stop them from actually going homeless, because a lot of veterans who go homeless, it's not just because they can't pay the mortgage. Like I said, it's an economic issue. If our veterans aren't able to get jobs, if they're actually going through their crisis and can't get to their doctor, so they're missing work. So what I did is I passed a bill that said they can use their money to pay for their housing. They can also use their money to pay for them to get to their center, to get to their treatment center. They can use their money for a variety of things that actually prevent homelessness and prevent you being kicked out of your home. Because like I said, this has been a strategy we've been using to transform the district. What becomes interesting is all the things that we've done, even protecting the workers in the union. This fight with the unions, it has been me and the workers continuously. And I've been fighting it on all fronts. We fight it not just with legislation in Congress. We fight it in the community, on the streets, marching, holding people accountable. But we also fight it in the courthouse. When you're in Congress, there's a lot of work that we do in the courthouse, especially when it comes to writing amicus briefs. And that's like a letter to the court where you're explaining the situation. There's a lot of work that we did when we were suing them, that we partnered with SEIU in order to sue them to make sure that we had equal rights. But another thing that's the most important to me, which it seems like everyone is ignoring, everyone wants to talk about the economy. Oh, affordability, affordability. First question you have to ask yourself, what does affordability even mean? That's a Democratic talking point. I have been talking about the economy, what's really going on with the economy for a very long time. As of right now, we have over 600,000 black women with college degrees who have been fired in 1 year. In 1 year. When we look at the proportions to black men right now, they are still disproportionately not being hired and being fired. In 1 year. What is causing that? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. If I am not bringing money into the district, if I am not giving and hiring people and creating opportunities, we will have no opportunities. So the harm that was done with this diversity and equity and inclusion task force, pulling it away, that harmed District 20 more than anybody else. And if you look at the numbers, you look at the math, all these organizations, even corporations, their excuse not to hire us is, oh, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Their excuse to fire us is somehow we didn't deserve it. That's why we shouldn't be there. The reason why they don't give our children scholarships is because, oh no, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is an excuse for them to deteriorate our community. And we can't afford to have people in the district or wanting to be in Congress, but you don't understand what the main issue is. And so I've been fighting every single day. That's why every dollar that I bought in, it was actually to stimulate the economy. I bought in over $383.6 million to help our ports, small businesses, and local companies. And that's just for the businesses. In addition to that, we had over $81 million to protect and improve healthcare and families. So $81 million, how do we do that with the healthcare? I gave $3 million to Broward Health. Why? Broward Health, and when we looked at it, there was like a healthcare zone where we didn't have any real hospitals to come and do full body checkups, right? So already I knew I can connect you with your laptop, but sometimes you need to see a doctor. We gave $3 million to Broward Health so they can build that bus that was coming into the community. So if you see, when we did our mobile office, Broward Health came also, and they were screening people because our people die because of lack of access, lack of knowledge. Why don't we have access? Because we don't have a good hospital who's here. Now we're seeing more coming in, but those initial dollars, that was to get people to come in. Also with that $81 million, we were able to fund so many different types of cancer screenings that were specific to black people. And what's most important about that is anybody who we gave money to, we made sure they had the cultural competency. You know what that means? That means if you're coming into a community and you want to service it, if you're Jamaican and the community is Jamaican, you're a match. But I'm not going to send a white person into a Jamaican community and try to service them. That is not a match. We have to match our communities with the people who are serving them. And those have been the things that we've been doing continuously. And so I go back to when, it's so interesting because when there's an election, people start making up lies so they can win. But if you have to make up lies to win, your candidate already lost.
That is why I'm asking you to name the cities that you can call. What about Miramar?
So I don't have Miramar anymore. When I did have Miramar, that's when what we looked at in Miramar. One of the biggest problems we had in Miramar, outside of helping the small businesses, we saw that also the police department, when they were being called out, they didn't treat everybody the same. If you look at the population of Miramar, especially at that time, which was 5 years ago, mostly black, mostly Caribbean, but they didn't have the cultural competency to deal with every healthcare crisis, mental health crisis. So one of the first things we did when we came in, we worked with Alexandria Davis, and at that moment we gave money so we can make sure we hired a Caribbean woman to deal with our mental health crisis. So now if your kid is, or your husband, somebody's having a crisis, police aren't coming with a gun first. Now there's a woman who understands you, understands your language, understands your culture, and she can come and protect you.
That is where I met you.
Yes, that's where you met me.
And that was my daughter who was the first Caribbean social worker. So that's where I met
Very
you.
First. And we made sure that we were creating all those opportunities for first. And that's why I say that everybody tells me they've never had a member of Congress bring in that kind of money into the district. But what's even more important for me is I need to create first opportunities for all of us. Now it's normalized. Now they know if they're going to put a healthcare specialist or a mental health specialist, they know that mental health specialist is going to have to look like the community they serve. And that's what this election is about. This election isn't about the petty politics, making up stories. Like I said, if you have to lie about your candidate or say somebody didn't do it, you already lost because the truth tells a story. But the real thing about this election, which everybody should know how everything came about, is about 2 years ago when this administration said that they wanted to keep Congress Republican, they asked for Democratic seats. The president asked Texas so they can create a map, make the map more Republican. And then he came to Florida and said, make the map more Republican. At that time, we were aware that they were going to have only 3 seats, 3 Democratic seats. So we were going from 8 Democratic seats to 3. At that moment, word got back to us that the 3 seats were, guess what? 3 black seats. Me, Frederica, and Maxwell Frost. So you can imagine the white people are panicking because they believe they run the Democratic Party. They believe that they should have their seats. And so we were just watching this unfold. And so at the end of the whole process, there's only 4 seats. Why is this important? The 4 seats are still, 3 of them are black. In Miami, in Broward County, in Orlando, black populations, mostly Caribbean. Most of them live like us. We have the same priorities. The reason why that becomes important is because when we set the stage for priorities, every time we would put out our arguments, if it would be 3 against 5. I'll give you an example. When we talked about what should be the priorities when it comes to, the Democratic Party in Florida, we all felt like it should be economic. How do we help people move economically? The 5, you know what they said? Oh, Florida should focus on abortion. You ever wondered why the Democratic Party always wants to get up and say abortion?
Don't forget, you got to listen to Congresswoman Sheila-McCormick, paid and approved for by Sheila McCormick Campaign Fund. And I hope you're out there paying attention to some of our accomplishments while she's been there for 5 years. So sometimes we hear a lot of things and they say the proof is in the pudding. So I want you to continue, Sheila, as some of the things that you're doing.
So basically, we've been fighting this economic agenda for a very long time. And so I keep telling people that this election is not an election where we think it's a regular election. This election is about not just our voice, but our livelihood in the direction of the Democratic Party for the state of Florida. They understand they understand this more than us because once they figured out they were going to be losing seats, they started strategically trying to figure out which seat they can take. And that's when District 20 came into play, where Debbie Wasserman Schultz felt like she was going to do everything to sabotage and create what kind of chaos so she can come in for a black seat, which we now see what's going on. So what they do when they come in, which I have to make very clear, I'm the only member in Broward County in Congress who actually had money coming into the black community. What's interesting is that we can do joint projects all the time together. And so, for example, some of the joint projects I did with Lois, we were able to give the Urban League, both of us gave $800,000 to the Urban League, give them a total of $1.6 million. Whereas in Broward County, any opportunity that they had, be it Debbie to do a joint program, never did it for the black community, never wanted to do a joint program. And even if you look at what she says, she keeps referring to the district as a Broward seat. Absolutely not. Because the black people in my district have not been treated the same way as everybody in Broward County. Broward County has had privilege. The money, they put it into their communities. They have not put it into our communities. They have never given any money to us. And so that's why I've been focused on the economics of this district. Now, when it comes to internationally, I'm the only person who has the highest ranking when it comes to the Foreign Affairs Committee. That is my committee. I've traveled the world over and over again. I'm the highest ranking for those two areas that I told you. And in that position, we have taken it extremely serious. Any opportunity we've had to negotiate, we have negotiated for this district. When it came to the Organization of American States, when it came to actually soliciting people to support that person, I worked with Bahamas and other countries to get that support. When it came to even us protecting this district, if you look at ICE, you haven't seen ICE or FDLE coming into Broward County the way they have been in Lake Worth. The reason why is because we have been working. I had a conversation with them. Don't come here, protect our people. That's the ability when you have the sense and the ability that being pragmatic, you can talk to people and protect people. So it's not, this election is much more than what we think it is. It is not a regular election. When we did our voter ID and we reached out to voters to find out who they were voting for, the two top names that came, well, the first thing they said was important was experience. The second thing, the two top names that came up was me and Debbie. At this moment, people feel like they need somebody who's done it. And I have told them, experience is not the same. Not everybody's experience is the same. Her experience is for her community. Because if you look at the funding, everything on it says Jewish. None of the funding says black or Caribbean. And so at the end of the day, I think we need to understand what this election is really about, and we need to really take a good look of who we are as a community and how we will leverage ourselves to actually hold on to the power that redistricting has given us.
So if your talking is out there that you have not done anything, the proof is in the pudding.
100%. Like I said over and over again, when you have to make up lies about your opponent, you already lost. Because you know how many people can tell you that they got their down payments for their house from me? You know how many people right now are living in these buildings? Do you know how many people, even the Caribbean people who called me because they needed visas, how many people were kidnapped in their country, in Haiti, and I had to get them back? How much casework? We do the most casework in the entire state. There's nobody who does more casework than my office. So when you have to make up stories that nothing's been done, people know because just like you got the tablet. Just, the people who are hired. So I always say that once you have to start lying and making up stories, you already lost the election because people know the truth.
So what do you have leave now? Say, for instance, you're elected. What are some of the things that you're going to champion? So
the biggest thing that we have to do is continue the work of making sure that we are actually leading this state. And I say that because once I'm able to win this election, I will be number 2 in the Florida delegation. Lois Frankel would be number 1. Lois Frankel has already said she is retiring after this term. That means in 2028, I will be the delegation lead for the entire state of Florida. And I can tell you, as a delegation lead, the chair of the Florida Democratic Party will look like District 20. Every contract that comes through the Democratic Party, it will be coming to people who I've already served. No longer are we going to have these policies and leadership that ignores us. We are the biggest voters for the Democratic Party. Why aren't they here with us? Why isn't the party saying, no, we should not have somebody trying to take the Caribbean voice? Why are they silent? But then you want me to go vote for who? The 2 white men at the top? To do what? How are they going to win if they don't come through us? And at the end of the day, yeah, there's people who don't like me because I'm very flagrant when I have to tell people, if you don't respect me and my community, I won't respect you. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, you won't get a vote here.
So what would you say to those listeners out there who might have some doubt about voting for you? Because, there's a lot, sometimes we have gone through challenges this time, but sometimes, stigmatized men. What would you say to them? Hit them, what would you say?
Just look at my record. Before everything happened, I was a CEO for 15 years, an attorney CEO for 15 years. I never in my life had any kind of allegation. Our business was there for more than 37 years. Never had an issue. All of a sudden, redistricting is happening, and that's when they want to say, oh, the state of Florida made a mistake. The state of Florida said they made a clerical error. If you remember, they said they made an error. They made that error when I wasn't even in Congress. At that time, I left to run. 2021. I was running for this seat. I wasn't even there. And so all of a sudden, 4 years, right before redistricting, the government says they found something, not the state. Come on now. We've seen this before. And if you want me to jog your memory, you know where we saw this before? 1992. 1992, the Republicans drew a black district. When they drew that black district, who said they wanted the seat? Lois Frankel. Lois Frankel and her community said, even though it's a black seat, we believe we can represent black people. And what happened also during that time? Alcee Hastings was indicted. Do you remember that?
Yes, you're so right.
Yes.
Alcee was indicted.
1992. Same time, same place, same people.
So some of the things that our people might hear might be stigmatized in their brain. They will say, boy, Sheila do this, Sheila did that. What would you say to them?
Absolutely not. I've said from the beginning, I've never did anything wrong. I've said from the beginning, none of this is true. But this is the storyline that they wanted to adopt because they wanted to make it easier.
I want you to repeat it again and say it to our community, because let me tell you something. We are living in a stigmatized world. That when people hear things, especially in our community, it spread like wildfire. So you need to convince and talk to those that are listening, Lauderdale Lake, Lauderdale, wherever your country is, because this is for the things that beat us, People don't want to hear something. And you come from a country, Haiti?
Yes.
The same things happen of Jamaica. You only want to hear something and we run with it a different way.
Yeah, but we have to understand what the cause is, right? If the state said they made a mistake, right? And if the state was supposed to, that's another thing. They're saying, oh, the mistake was, I should have known. How would the company have known? The contract was for $21 million. They only paid $14 million. And now you want to say $5 million is a mistake? Where's the rest of the money? For that organization, they were actually hiring nurses. If you remember, we had over 10,000 people throughout the entire state of Florida. So those nurses, those CNAs, those LPNs, all of them were going to work. Everybody got paid. How come the business didn't get paid? Now you're saying it's a mistake? And the state resolved it as a contractual issue? At some point, we have to understand the history and who's doing it. The same people who were there in 1992 who were doing it then, now they're doing that over here with the same circumstances in 2026. And we have to open up our eyes and see what's going on. It's not just me. Look at the entire country. Now they're using these indictments like candy. Don Lemon. Look at everybody they're indicting. If you're in somebody's way, they want to indict you. The bigger concern, too, is that some people want to say it's just Republicans, but we see here it wasn't just Republicans. Democrats are doing it, too. If they want something, they'll figure out a way to try and come for it.
Let me ask you this. Has any of your opponent used it against you?
No, no one has used it because we've spoken about it.
That's very good.
I can say that, not in my face, not in my face they haven't. But I've spoken, yeah, but, I've spoken to my opponents. I tried to help everybody. You remember the last time I ran? The last time when I ran and I beat 12 sitting members, there were 12 members who were political, they were elected officials. When I got in, I said, I'm going to work with everyone. And I did. And I asked them, what is it that you want so I can help you? And I kept all my commitments. At one time, Barbara was there. And then Barbara, she was running for Senate. And I said, I'm going to support you 100%, And I supported her 100%. Then everybody else, I supported them. So I have a respect for anyone who gets up to fight in the game. And I believe we must uplift each other. Even when it came, we had conversations, and I was talking to Elijah. I said to him, I need all of you guys to succeed. Because if you don't succeed, what ends up happening is you are a gateway for the other people who support you. So if you fail, more of those people too are going to fail. They don't have a pathway for success. So I need everyone to succeed so we can succeed together.
So you're a person with a open heart like me. I don't care feeling mad for anybody. I just do what I have to do.
Absolutely. Because first of all, I'm a Christian. I'm not taking any curse for nobody, right? I'm not taking on a curse. So if I have to help you, I'll help you. And I worked with everybody. But what's important in this moment, we have been successful. I've been in Congress. I was in Congress for 5 years, right? After my first 2 terms, not even after my first 2 terms. So after that, I was appointed. They actually chose me. The leader Jeffries chose me to lead the biggest 2 conflicts in the whole world.
How many of us know that?
Yeah.
That's the point. Maybe you don't come to us too often. You stay away from us.
No, well, I have to come back. But they had, so the conflicts that we were having. So I was the head of the Middle East, the biggest conflict they have right now. They chose me to lead that after being in Congress for only 3 years. The second biggest conflict we have is with the DRC. You know, all of the mining they're doing, the killing they're doing, the genocide. They put me over the 2 biggest conflicts within the world because they trusted within 3 years that I was level-headed and I can actually be fair and disciplined to everyone. If you look at where I am in Congress, me and Debbie are at the exact same place. She is the leader for her subcommittee, which is military, and I am leading my subcommittee. She's been there for 20-something years, and we're at the same place. It shows you something, and it shows you how fast our district has been growing, leaps and bounds.
You have to come back and talk to the people, because they want to hear more from you as to why they should vote for you. I know you said you were listening to the previous program.
Oh, yes. And I came in early to see him, but he couldn't even look me in my eye. Because if you're going to talk about someone, I'm right here, say it to my face. No, it's true because, we live in this digital world where people want to say all kinds of things behind a microphone, behind their fingers. But the truth is we're all civilized.
So you came in and you saw Mr. Campbell and he walked out. He didn't look at you.
No, I don't understand. We should be civil. We should be able to have these conversations. I'm serious. We should because there's too much at stake. Right now, we're fighting together. We're fighting to preserve a black seat. So how can I sit there and do all this stuff? We have to be united. If we are not united, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be someone who steals our black seat. And you know what they're going to talk about? They won't be talking about the Caribbean. They won't be talking about the black wealth gap. They won't be talking about the 600,000 black women who are fired with an education. They won't be talking about how they keep moving the goalpost for every black person. They're going to come here and talk about Israel.
Congressman, the election is around the corner. You have a long way to go. You need to come back and talk to our community some more because I know you work. Because my daughter was a recipient of the social worker from Merrimar. She was the first social worker. I know it comes through your hand. And I know you go to Tamarack and other cities around. And as you mentioned, you have it on document there.
Yes.
So if you were telling lies, to people, but many of us don't know. And this is the problem. If you do things they don't know, and when you offer these things to these cities, now they are there to protect you. If you didn't do it, they would say lie you're telling. But I don't hear anybody bawling about says lie.
And you know what's interesting also? I have teletown halls because we're in D.C. 3 weeks out of the month. But this time with this president, we've been in D.C. much more time because we're fighting everything. But we have teletown halls every other week calling the community saying get on the call. We did over 200 town halls in person, conversations with the congresswoman where we went to people's homes, invited everybody from the block to come talk to me. We've done other conversations in city halls. We've had town halls where we talk to people. We've gone into the churches and we brought attorneys and we were doing immigration. One of the things too that I want to talk about too before I leave, because you've been so generous to me, in addition to that, let's talk about this whole TPS situation. Because a lot of times they keep talking about TPS and immigration as if it is only a Haitian thing. It's not true. When I went to the Pompano Detention Center, do you know how many Jamaicans I met in there along with Haitian people? And a lot of those people told me that they had a traffic stop and they've been here for how many years and they took them. One girl said that her and her friend were play fighting and they arrested both of them. And then they even dropped the charges on her. And then she was still sitting in there for deportation. No,
we need to hear more.
Yeah, this is a bigger issue that we're facing as a community, and we must be united.
One talk can help you. You need to talk some more about these issues. and I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you have to do it. Understand?
Yes.
Because you're working and our community is large, and I like how you express yourself and you speak it. Let they go and check it out for you. You have performed. If you did not perform, people could have said that. And you said you have done for Tamarack. I know it was. I can say for Miramar. I can talk about
Tamarack, Miramar, Lauderdale, North Lauderdale. North Lauderdale got their first federal funding from me.
From you.
From the first time they got it. How much money did we give Lauderdale? How much money did we give Plantation? I sat down with the mayor of Plantation. I explained to him, what is it that you want to do? We went through it. Fort Lauderdale, what we did for black colleges. We gave money to black colleges also. Nobody else has given money for black colleges. Deerfield, Pompano, I can name them
You know
all.
what the problem is? You people don't keep town hall meeting in our community.
I do town halls. I did over 200. You guys don't want to come.
No, we don't get any. Don't get any.
Yes,
any farmer.
I
personally don't get any, and I vote for you all the time around.
I send emails, and not only do I send emails, we do calls also, robocalls, and so we send it to people. I even feed people. You know, when we do the meetings at people's houses, we even bring food. I'm like, do you want to bring oxtail? What do you want to bring? Grill?
You bring oxtail?
Yes, I bring whatever. I'm trying to get, because I like to eat too. So if you
Listen,
whatever you need.
we have a lot to talk about. You one at one. It's a bird can't fly on one wing. It might be costing you, but you have to know. As a congresswoman, I want to say to you, thanks very much for what you've been doing for the community. I know, let me be honest with you. I hear them talk, but the voters out there, it's only one thing will stigmatize their mind, your little problem. So you have to get it, blow it in their minds that this is how it goes. You mentioned it.
Look at my character. If you are a thief, you don't wake up and steal one day. That's not it. I was the CEO for 15 years of a healthcare company. Never had a complaint. We had the business for 37 years. Never had a complaint. All of a sudden, before redistricting, 5 years later, right before redistricting.
Any last comment before you go?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm
that's
Congresswoman
it.
Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick, and I love this district. I fight for this district. I work every single day because I understand what the mission is. The mission is for all of us to rise up together, and that's why I work so hard to change our trajectory. No one came to this country because they wanted to get a handout. We came to do well here, succeed, and then eventually retire on the beach and grow for our families.
So you want them to vote for me or you?
I want them to vote for Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick,
You see?
like they
You see
have,
that?
like they have. I need the community to come out and prove that just because you have more money, just because this lady thinks she has more money, she can come in and manipulate the news because all those other Sun Sentinel, all those things that are not owned by us. They think they can manipulate us and take our votes. Absolutely not. The last time I ran for this district, I won by more than 75%. And so we will win again with your help. Vote Congresswoman Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick.
You need to put on your walking shoes and make sure you knock the doors in our community.
Yes, I've been
right?
knocking and calling and having town halls. We'll do another town hall, and I'll invite you. You'll be the star of the town hall. And I'll bring whatever food you like.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheila. God bless you.
Thank
Talk
you
to you
for
again.
having me.
Paid and approved for by Sheila McCormick Campaign Fund. And we're going to hear more of Sheila, so pay attention, all right?
Messam on Saturday, August 1st, as we celebrate Jamaica Emancipendence at the Miramar Regional Park Amphitheater from 3 to 11 p.m. Experience an incredible evening with Kamani Marley, Louis Culture, Diani, the Warrior Band, the Brata Folk Singers, Dr. Sue, and more. Register today at miramarjamaicafair.eventbrite.com. See you on 1st August morning.
Are you visiting Jamaica? Make your trip more comfortable. Rent your car from Enterprise Jamaica today with the newest car fleet in Jamaica and the best service out there. Pick up and drop off at the Montego Bay Airport. So go ahead and explore what Jamaica has to offer. For more information, visit www.enterprise.com or call us at 1-876-906-0084.
Ramcar Care Center now moves to a new location, 3551 Northwest 19th Street, Building 5 in Lauderdale Lakes. Bigger and better to satisfy your mechanical demand. Fleet vehicles, suspension, tires, alignment, oil change, just to mention a few. Visit us or call us at 954-733-0900. That's 954-733-0900. Open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Saturdays from 8 a.m. till 12 p.m. Rum Car Care is where satisfaction guaranteed.
At Sandals, we expected a 5-star luxury included vacation, but we never expected a private butler and an infinity pool on our balcony. We expected a choice of up to 16 gourmet restaurants, but never expected steak and lobster as much as we liked. We expected endless land and water sports, but never expected unlimited scuba diving and golf. Sandals Resorts, where you can expect the best of everything. Call your travel agent or 1-800-SANDALS.
We're a generation of beach-loving, fun-binging vacationers.
That's right, my generation.
That's why Beaches Resorts is #1 for Generation Everyone. With the best water parks in the Caribbean and more land and water sports than anyone, including unlimited scuba. Plus Sesame Street characters for the kids and up to 21 fabulous restaurants for everyone. All included. Beaches, Generation Everyone. Call your travel agent or 1-800-BEACHES.
Walker's exclusive barbershop is where expectations meet perfection. Located at 6941 West Commercial Boulevard on the northeast corner of 70th Avenue and Commercial. Walk-ins and appointments accepted 7 days a week for your convenience from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us at 954-960-5964. 954-960-5964. And speak to one of our professional barbers.
I need to get my hair done.
Facial, nails, braids, and haircuts. Walker's exclusive barbershop for your flawless look.
Nice.
954-960-5964. This is where expectations meet perfection. Walker's exclusive barbershop.
I believe the children are our future.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
So let's save a mind
by joining the Duke of Earle of WVS 1170 AM radio and give your support for the Duke of Earle back to school supplies. Book bags, pencils, pens, comprehension books, and all major school supplies.
Remember, the children are the future of tomorrow. Call him now at 954-336-6223. That's 954-336-6223. And make a difference in a child's life.
I believe the children.
What will you do when you get to the islands on vacation? If you want to read a book, you may as well stay home. But experiencing island routes, you can go from the fast bobsled in Jamaica to the hot, rejuvenating mud baths in volcanic St. Lucia. Try tasty oil down in spicy Grenada. Set sail on a state-of-the-art catamaran, Turks and Caicos, and enjoy fresh conch salad from the sea. Walk up at the Oyston's Fish Fry in Barbados. Island Roots has an adventure for you. Whether you need a vacation home or recommending one to your boss, colleagues, or friends, put them in safe, credible hands with great, insured, and funner island adventures by Island Roots. When you book an Island Roots adventure, you are getting the best of the absolute best of what the Caribbean has to offer. Never settle. You have one life. You should live it. Call your travel agent and demand an Island Roots adventure. Log on to www.islandroots.com. Come home soon. Yeah, man.
Are you thinking about filing your taxes and you need quick, competent, and reliable services? The man to see is Frederick McLeod, tax and insurance consultant at Integrity Tax and Businesses. Located at Shoppers at University, 6412 North University Drive, Suite 107. Telephone 954-650-1319. That's 954-650-1319. Tell him the Duke of Earle sent you for quick, competent, and reliable tax services. Make sure you see Fred McLeod, 954-650-1319.
It is 7:53. What I say good night to Colleen Lawson. Good night to my brother. My girl, I said brother. Eh? How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful night. Donovan Wilson, good night. And also to Frederica and the crew, good night. You know, it's such a pleasure, you know, when I have people of importance in the studio. Congresswoman Sheila McCormick. And you know something, I don't care what people might want to say about me. Because you know, I am straightforward. And I speak it as it is. That lady work. That lady work. And it's no joke about it. Remember, you know, I can't tell you who to vote for. But I'm just saying that lady work. Tamarack, Lauderhill, Lauderdale Lake, Merrimar. She work in the black community. So we have to be honest to ourselves. If she did not work, then you could have find problem to say. Channel just takes a lot about. Sometimes something happen. It is design. It is design. I know for me here, 40 years, it's got a good thing me not got you. I'm in a back down. No. But you know something? I will say you think me gone, me just a come. You hear that talking there? That's how life come on. 40 years under my belt is not an easy one. I tell you, yes. Don't forget the Duke of Earle coming to Jamaica September 17th to the 21st. 5 days and 4 nights. All you got to do is call Sanders. 1-800-327-1991. Option number 4, 2781 extension. Or call me and I'll help you through. Again, I want to say good night to each and everyone. Radio is fun, not to Dimitri. Really fun. And again, let me tell you something. We as people, you know, they say we can fool with sometimes, but we can't fool with all the time. The people can fool us, but not all the time. When someone perform, we must make sure that we support them. If they don't perform, you know, we have people into politics and they don't do nothing more than big up themselves, walk around with chip on their shoulders and big up themselves. And them come and hug up the baby and them come and when election time come around and come and hug up the baby and come in your yard knocking down your door. Not me. I run them. I say I know you're from you. Me never see you coming, so why come here now? We have an attitude to be voting for judges and we don't know them. And a lot of these judges, you don't know who they are. People, get yourself educated as to who you're voting for. Your vote is very important. It is imperative that I tell you these things, but you must know. As I say, Sheila work. No matter what you might hear on the outside, because we like the gossip, you know, we like the carry go bring come. It's so. We love it. And we run with it. And it spread like wildfire when I'm ready for chat. But this woman in particular, I don't care what you listen to me. Sometimes people might hate you for that. Just like I will say, Dennis Grant work, Wayne Mesham work. I'll say it, I don't hide my conscience. But many of them use it to big up themselves. Many of them. And them cut against you when you don't talk about it. When you talk about it and expose the truth. But for me, my vote is important. And I know I'm in Sheila constituency. So when I go to the polling station, I will make our extra reading. How we do again? Up here is no ink. It's a sticker you put on your shirt. So I saw them do it. But let me tell you people, you know, I'm not a person that like to talk about fraud and people don't work. People work. Even my good friend in Sunrise. Yes. Mark, Mr. Ryan, my good friend. He work. You look at Sunrise. Every time somebody come on Sunrise, they say, boy, Sunrise clean. Yes. Because that's what our politicians that we put into office do. But a lot of them don't do nothing. All them do walk around with chip on them shoulder. Kevin Grant, Wayne Jackson, good night. Wayne, you're in Jamaica. I know you're in Jamaica. Colette Thomas, good night.